Hello, my friends. There are a lot of foreigner dancers they love very much to create their own choreography. But they didn't put in mind that there are some elements are very important. They can use it, can help them a lot to create these choreography. So these elements you have to keep in mind and use it right well, then you will do or you will create the wonderful choreography. In this video, I will explain to you all of these elements which will help you a lot. As much as dancing is easy but also complicated, a lot of dancers they think that it's so easy and they go on a stage jumping and dancing and do whatever from the steps without concentrating right well why and when and what. Dancing is not just jumping from left to right, front to back or up to down or something like that, but it is something we have to put in mind that we transmit something for the audience, and the audience have to understand what are we doing on a stage. For this reason, there are 5 main elements we have to put in mind, or we have to keep in mind all the time and use it. If we use it right well, we will be in success. The main point of view is a lot of foreigner dancers sometimes they didn't put or they didn't think that the audience can understand what are they doing on the stage, and they move without meaning actually or something like this. So we will start now to understand all these 5 elements one by one to know exactly how we can create our correct and right choreography. So we start now with the first element, which it is heritage. Heritage is very important and we have to understand it right well. It is everything around us. We use it since long time until now, or something we were using this and finished it, and then something new or something renew, then we use it now, something like that. This is the heritage in general, and heritage have 3 main points. The first point is the habits. The habit is every behavior man continuously doing usually in his life. So in Egypt, for example, we have a lot of stories, we have a lot of habits. Inside these stories we have a lot of things we do since long time, maybe 7,000 years or something like that, until now. All this became a habit, sometimes every day, sometimes every month, sometimes every year, something like that. So we have to understand the habits right well. Not all the habits actually, but the main habits actually. We have to understand it right well. From these habits, we will understand some or the first step of the heritage. The second point in heritage is the traditions. What is traditions actually? Or traditions are what the group inside the society or all the society agreed on a type of behavior to do. So we have a lot of behaviors, bad behaviors and good behaviors. We are talking now about the good behaviors. So with the habit, there are a behavior, we use it or we do it. If we see the connection between both, we will find or we will understand much more in the heritage. Then the second point is the beliefs. What is beliefs actually? Beliefs is what the people in the society agreed to believe. What does it mean? Look, we have a lot of religions all over the world, so we have to understand which religions these people or this community or this class in the society believe. From this religions, we will understand actually their dance steps or their steps, their style of steps, so we can use it inside our dancing when we go create our choreography. So this is the heritage, what I want to explain to you. The second element is the music. Music, all of us, we understand actually the music right well, but we have to put in mind that the elements have two main points. The music elements have two main points we have to put in mind, or we have to keep in mind and use it right well, or use them right well to understand how we can go through our choreography. The first point in the music is the music analysis. Actually, we have main 8 maqams. A lot of people or a lot of dancers, they didn't put in mind, or they didn't keep in mind that these 8 main maqams are very important. Every maqam of these maqams have its own feeling, have its own also steps. I know it is complicated little bit, but if you understand it right well, you will do, or you will create the wonderful choreography. So there are eight main maqams. Each one of them have its own feeling which we can move on it. So we have to understand this. So the second point is calculating the music octaves. What does it mean exactly? Every part or every music have octaves inside it. So we have to calculate it right well if we want to create our choreography, and to know exactly when the octave will start and end, and then the second and end, and then the third and the end, and so on and so on and so on. And we have to understand how many. If we calculate it right well, we will understand how we move, and how we can jump from the first to the second, then from the second to the third, and so on and so on and so on. This is also very important, and how to connect between all these octaves together. So this is the second element. Then we go to the third. The third element, all of us, of course, we understand it. The song. Of course, we have sometimes music only, and we have music and song. It is like that. So, what is the song? How we can use the song actually through our dancing? There are two main points, yes, also in the songs. Understanding the story. Look, I'm not talking about novel or something very huge like that, a huge story like that, but there are a lot of stories. We use it when we go dancing. In Oriental dance, we have a story, a little story, but in folklore, we have a big story. But also, if we go in belly dancing have a very little story. This is what I'm talking about. What is the meaning of the story actually? The story, it means something had happened, or something happened, and something in the middle, and something in the end. Something like that, to close your story or to finish your story. So we have a lot of stories, starting from the beauty of my body until some or action or something happened with a friend of mine or close friend of mine or my lover or whatever, something like this. For example, this is for example, but sometimes the story can be complicated, same like the ballet, complicated stories. The most important and the lovely thing is in folkloric dance or in folklore dance, the story can be very easy, and most of the people can understand it. Of course, in the community which this story coming from, but sometimes this story can be complicated for the foreigners or something like that. For this reason, don't think that if I'm dancing, for example, Saidi dance, then Saidi with a stick, that means I jump with the stick and do this and that and so and so. No, there is a story, and we have to complete this story to respect the audience's mind and to let the audience understand what are we doing actually. This is, for example, also in Fallahi, the same, also in Hajjala the same, and so on and so on and so on. In Oriental dancing, we choose the right steps, the beautiful steps, and we polish it, and then we use it with Oriental dancing. But in belly dancing, we show the audience the beauty of our body, which is the light story. I have this, I have that, this is the beautiful part of my body, and so on and so on. This is the very light story, which is also, by the way, it is not so light, it is complicated, because how can I introduce my body? How can I let my body speak? This is very important point we have to put in mind. This is the story. This is how can I explain the story on the stage. And of course, the lyrics. This is the point number 2 is translating the lyrics. Of course, the Arabic language or the Egyptian tongue or the other tongues are sometimes difficult than the language. The Arabic language, of course, for most of you, very difficult, but you have to put in mind that, or you have to keep in mind, you have to keep in mind that you have to understand the lyrics right well. Find a friend of you can translate the lyrics for you. Send it to me, send it to someone can understand the lyrics right well, and then write it to you. Through the lyrics, you will understand the story, and then you create your choreography, or you create your steps. How you can do it? By the story, by understanding the lyrics. Then we go to the fourth one, our number 4. I mean the element number 4, which is the stage. Stage is very important, and many foreigner friends, they didn't keep in mind that stage is very important for your choreography. Really. Which type of the stage you will perform on it? We have a circle stage. We have a rectangular stage. We have a square stage, and we have many different types of stages. I have to understand the stage right well, then I move on it. Without understanding the stage, my steps will be nothing. So, the first is the heritage, the second is the music, then song, then stage. Because I can create a step, but this step cannot be right well or correct on this type of a stage. So I have to understand the difference between stages, and I have to understand how can I change the step on the stage. Sometimes I can do something like this too. For the improvisation, sometimes we're changing the steps, depends on the stages. So this is also very important. So I have to study and understand the stage which I will go dance on it. Then we go to the last point, which it is, as I love to say all the time, the Kinemorph. What is Kinemorph actually? Kinemorph, this is academic term, and this term, and instead of to say sentence, moving sentence, or motion, or sentence of moving, or something like that. Sentence, it belongs to writing, it belongs to language, but for our language, Kinemorph, very easy like that. Kinemorph is, it means a lot of little movements or moves or steps, little steps together, and they create one dance sentence. If I want to say one dance sentence, I can say it very easy. Kinemorph, something like that. So in Kinemorph, there are 4 main points which are very, very, very important. Also, we use it when we go creating our choreography. The individual dance and the group dance. What does it mean? If I am dancing solo on a stage, this is individual dance. If I am dancing a solo dance, it is individual dance. So, in this way, I have to create steps which are very important to clarify my story, which it belongs to the lyrics, or belongs to the music, or belongs to both the lyrics and the music. This is the individual dance. And of course, I never go out of the story. If sometimes I go out of the story, that means the audience cannot continuously think with me or understanding me right well. So I have to concentrate in this way. If it is in a group, the group completely different now. The group, they move together, or some of them, or part of them, or couples, or something like that. So the steps will be different. So I have to put in mind that with solo have a special steps, with the group have another special steps, not belongs to the solo. Sometimes I see all the dancers as a group, one group on a stage. They are dancing together with wow, wonderful dance steps. Okay, it is very good, but why? Ask yourself please, why? We do something like this, and if we do a very light step, but all of us together do it on a stage together, it will be wonderful and it will be very strong. Instead of doing a very strong and complicated steps for one group together, which it be much more complicated, yes, also to the audience to understand it right well. So for this reason, with the group we can make, or we can create a light step. But with the solo can be complicated a little bit, or much more, depends on the level you are in. So this is the second point. The third point is dance in lines. And of course the fourth is dance in a circle. What is the meaning dance in a circle? Look, there are something very important here in Egypt I have to explain to you. 99% of all the groups or the dancers who are coming from the borders around Egypt, not around the cities, borders around, but around all Egypt. You will find immediately 99% of them, they are dancing in lines. Lines, it means we are together in one line. Looks like a wall against someone, to stop someone, to defend, to attack, something like this. This is the line. This is the meaning behind the line. But in a circle, if we dance in a circle, it means religious, yes, also. And it means that we believe each other and we are hand in hand together, looking for something or looking out of something like that. This is the difference between dance in lines or dance in circles. 99% of the groups coming from the cities, from deep inside, in the middle of the cities, you will find their dancing, their folklore dancing in a circle. But when you see the other groups coming from around the borders of Egypt, you will find it immediately either lines or a half line or something like this. This is very important, yes, also very important point you have to put in mind. These are the 5 elements we have to keep in mind all the time when we go creating our choreography. Please think of it, please put in your mind and start to do it, start to work on it. You will find yourself creating the right choreography. So if you find my video is very useful for you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share the video for your friends. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.